Good morning and welcome to our meditation class with the Vedanta Center of Greater Austin. Om Ardram Jwalati Jyoti Rahamasmi Jyotir Jwalati Brahmahamasmi Yohamasmi Brahmahamasmi Ahamasmi Brahmahamasmi Ahamevaham Mam Juhomi Swaha. Melting into the light, I am the light that shines. The light shines, the light which is Brahman. That which I am is nothing but Brahman. I exist and I exist as Brahman. I myself offer myself into the infinite light, which is myself. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So as always, before we begin the guided meditation, let me say a few words about meditation itself. And I need, for my sake, to keep a record of the themes that I talk about at the beginning so that I remember what I've already spoken on. But I believe last time I spoke about meditation from the standpoint of mindfulness, though I'm not sure. So let me speak today a little bit about meditation from the standpoint of concentration, making the mind ekagra. Ekagra, a Sanskrit term, which means one-pointed. So, of course, you don't need to know the Sanskrit term, but for those who have a Sanskritic background, mother tongue is Sanskritic, they will understand ekagra. But one-pointed is the exact translation, literal translation of ekagra, bringing the mind to one point. And so if, as I seem to remember, last time I spoke about meditation from the standpoint of mindfulness, being aware, being alert and focused. And the mindfulness means keeping the mind attentive, but as an open field and just watching that which comes into the field of awareness. But in one-pointed meditation, which is, we could say, yogic meditation, and what we usually think of when we think of Hindu meditation. Buddhist meditation is most often, though the Buddha himself taught one-pointed meditation, but the Buddhist meditation as it has developed over the millennia, nowadays is usually understood as mindfulness meditation, which is good. But the yogic one-pointed meditation is another aspect which is important as well. And so why would one try to bring the focus of the mind to a point? The reason is that, as Swami Vivekananda explains, all of our knowledge comes to us through the power of concentration. When we are studying a book, we have all had the experience of reading a book and getting to the end of a paragraph and suddenly realizing, oh, I was thinking about something else. Let me go back and read it again. We get again to the bottom of the paragraph and realize again that, oh my goodness, I wasn't thinking about it again. Let me go back and start over. And so part of that is the power of mindfulness, just being attentive and alert. But part of it is focusing the rays of the mind. So I've used before, and I often use, the analogy of a magnifying glass. You take a magnifying glass and catch, as we all did as children, and catch the rays of the sun, and the magnifying glass focuses them to a point, and then you can set dried leaves on fire, a piece of paper on fire, etc. So what you've done is you've not created anything new. The rays of the sun were already falling. All you've done is taken those rays of the sun and brought them to a point so that it becomes powerful. And so with the mind is normally distracted, going out in all directions, thinking about all kinds of things. But when we bring the mind together and focus it towards something, then the mind has tremendous power of illumination. And it's part of the nature of the mind associated with consciousness, of course, that wherever it's focused, the thing focused upon reveals its secrets. If you want to learn anything, all you need to do is to begin to focus your mind in the direction of that subject. Of course, you need to follow a pedagogical method so that you learn step by step a process of learning more and more about the subject. But the other part is just as essential, and that is focusing the mind on the subject. So if you want to know about gardening, you start watching videos, reading books, looking at magazine articles about gardening. What you're doing is focusing the mind on the subject of gardening, and you find that gradually the field begins to open up to you. So whatever you direct your mind towards, that is the secret of learning, is learning to focus the mind, putting it where you want it to be, and that thing reveals its secrets. And that is the science of yoga. So meditation is both mindfulness, and some meditation practices emphasize just keeping the mind as an open field of awareness. And some practices focus on bringing the mind into focus in a concentrated way so that the mind flows towards the object of concentration without distraction. Of course, that's the ideal. The practice means we keep bringing the mind back to that, and the mind runs away and we keep bringing it back. So with that, just as a commentary on the art of meditation from another aspect, we will now begin the guided meditation. And so, as always, listen to the instructions that I give, and listen first, hear the complete instruction, and then try to do what you've just been instructed to the best of your ability until the next instruction. So listen first, and then try to do the practice. So I'll begin, as always, with the chant. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. We meditate on the effulgent glory of that luminous being who has projected the worlds. May that illuminate our hearts. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. Let us begin the meditation by taking 4 deep breaths, breathing in deeply, exhaling completely, holding the lungs empty for a few moments at the end of each exhalation, beginning again, doing that 4 times in order to calm the body and the mind. Again, breathe in deeply, exhale completely, hold the lungs empty for a moment or 2, begin again doing that 4 times. And now let us use the breath as a vehicle for sending out thoughts of goodwill towards all beings everywhere. Remembering that in the welfare of others lies our own welfare, and that in the ability to establish a deep sense of harmony with all that is, lies the freedom of mind to turn within in meditation. Because when we feel that our relationship with the outer world is broken, part of the mind is obsessed with trying to fix it, trying to figure out what is wrong. Because we sense that there should be an underlying harmony and actually an underlying unity. But first we feel it in terms of harmony. So as always, remember that this doesn't mean that we can establish perfect social harmony where everyone likes everyone else and everyone is happy and everything is fine. That doesn't happen in the world because of the nature of the world, because of the nature, the differences among living beings, the different aims, the different desires, the different likes and dislikes of people. But what we can do is establish a deep sense of harmony that is sustained even in the presence of social disharmony, a sense of connectedness to all of existence, a deep spiritual connectedness. So as we breathe in, let us think that we are filling ourselves with goodwill. And we can think to ourselves the word goodwill as we breathe in, thinking that we are breathing it in through every pore of our skin, from every good and beneficent force in the universe. And as we breathe out, let us think that we are breathing that goodwill out in all directions, towards all beings everywhere, without hesitation and without restriction, with words such as, may all beings everywhere realize what is good. So breathe in goodwill. Breathe that goodwill out in all directions. May all beings everywhere realize what is good, and continue in that way till the next instruction. In practices such as this, don't be afraid to use your imagination if you have good powers of imagination. For instance, you can think as you breathe out goodwill towards all beings, that you are surrounded by a sea of humanity and other beings as well, and that your goodwill is going out to all of them. Or as you breathe in goodwill, you're breathing it in from all holy and pure sources and beneficent sources of the universe. Or you can picture within your heart someone like the Holy Mother, Ramakrishna, Jesus, Buddha, full of compassion, full of universal love, full of goodwill for all, and that you are breathing in that goodwill from such pure and spiritual sources, and then breathing it out towards a sea of humanity surrounding you. So if you have good powers of imagination, feel free to use it in such exercises. And now let us turn our attention to the physical body in order to bring it into a deeper state of harmony, so that it serves as an instrument of concentration and not as an obstacle as so often it is. Let us think of each part of the body, starting from the toes and working up part by part to the top of the head, picturing each part in the mind's eye as pure, perfect, full of light. And after coming to the top of the head, picture the whole body at once as pure, perfect, full of light, as a God-given instrument for the realization of truth in this very life. So again, start from the toes, work up gradually part by part, picturing each part as pure, perfect, full of light, no matter what its actual condition might be. And then after coming to the top of the head, picture the whole at once as pure, perfect, full of light, as a God-given instrument for the realization of truth in this very life. After coming to the top of the head, once again briefly scan over the body, looking for any remaining points of tension, such as tightness in a muscle or joint. Bathe any such area in the light of your awareness, as it were, and feel that it is relaxing and coming into harmony with the rest of the body. And then return to contemplation of the whole. Try to feel the body, try to experience the body as one harmonious field or system of energy, not as a solid, heavy material object as we normally do. That is, when our eyes are closed, we are aware of the outline of the body, the sensation of the body's presence, whereby we can feel the crown of our head, the small of our back, areas that we can never see directly with the eye, but we can feel them directly. That feeling of the body's presence when the eyes are closed, of course it's there when the eyes are open also, but it's easier to focus on it when the eyes are closed. That sensation of the body's presence is the direct experience of the body as a field or system of energy. The energy of sensation, that almost tingling feeling of the body's outline. But normally we superimpose on top of that feeling our ideas of the body's solidity, materiality, heaviness, etc. So try to feel it just as sensation without superimposing other ideas on top of it. Just feel it as a field or system of energy. Wherever you feel any special points of pressure, such as your feet on the floor, hands on your lap, seat on your chair, try to feel such points of pressure as simply concentrations of sensation in the general field of sensation, which is the body. That is, don't interpret those sensations as my solid feet pressing against the solid floor, but just feel it as sensation without having definite boundaries or borders, but blending into the general sensation of the body. And in that way, you can come to a point where you feel practically weightless and floating. Here, normally, we branch off into the topic of meditation for the day, as we will today also. And sometimes that meditation continues the awareness of the body, and that itself becomes the meditation for the day. Today, I want to give another meditation, one that Swami Vivekananda used. At least we know of one occasion when he used it, and that was when he was at Camp Taylor in California in 1900. He was with a Miss Bell, who was a New Age teacher, a New Thought teacher, as it was called in those days, and Ida Ansel, Miss Hansborough. I think there were just the three of them besides the Swami, camping out. And he told them, let us go for meditation. And you can meditate on what you like, but I will meditate on the heart of a lion, because that brings strength. And so this is a meditation which can be used, the general meditation can be used in different ways to absorb the qualities of that which we meditate upon. For instance, if we meditate upon the Buddha, we can think, as we meditate on the Buddha, of the great calmness and compassion of the Buddha. And so by picturing the form of the Buddha, we try to absorb the qualities expressed by that form. Or we could picture the Holy Mother, her universal love and compassion and acceptance of all. And by picturing her form, absorb those qualities, identify with those qualities. Or we could picture Jesus and think of his sacrificial love for all and absorb those qualities. But let us use this meditation that Swami Vivekananda gave at Camp Taylor and meditate on the heart of a lion. That's all that he said. But one way to do that, how do you meditate on the heart of a lion? Of course, he didn't mean the anatomical organ of the heart of the lion. He meant the spirit of the lion. So how do we do that? One way, the easiest way perhaps for most of us, is to picture within us, picture within the heart, because that's the center of our identity, is the region of the heart, the lower center of the chest. Picture there a noble, strong, fearless lion, the king of beasts, that has no fear from any predator, that has no fear from any quarter, who knows its own dignity, its own glory, and is seated within that strong dignity. Calm because it doesn't need to be restless. Calm because it has no fear of anything. So what I do, you can do as you like, but what I do is picture because it's so familiar from childhood, picture the lion of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer at the beginning of old films when it would roar. The picture a lion within your heart, but picture it as manifesting these qualities of fearless strength, calm self-assuredness, not egotism, but the self-assuredness that comes from fearlessness. And let that be our meditation. Expanding a little on the image of Mother Durga, the Divine Mother Durga. She stands on a lion, and the lion there, her bearer, or vahana, or carrier, or bearer, the lion represents the individual soul, you and I. When we are devoted to the Divine Mother, we become the lion bearing the Divine Mother within us. And so there also is the image of strength, the image of fearlessness, because I am a child of the Divine Mother herself. What fear have I? And so again, picture the lion within the heart as your own self-image. And as the mind wanders away in any meditation, bring it back again to the topic, no matter how many times it wanders away, and no matter how fast and for how long it wanders away. When you catch it, bring it back to the lion within, the lion of strength, the lion of self-confidence, the lion of fearlessness. Now, in closing the meditation, let us each, in our own way, offer the fruits of our meditation to the divine as we like to conceive of the divine. The divine with form, the divine without form, as we like. Offering the fruits of our meditation to the divine for the welfare of all beings. Om Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvas Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarvas Sarvatra Nandatu. May all beings cross over difficulties. May all see that which is noble and uplifting. May all attain to right understanding. And may all rejoice in the divine everywhere. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om, that infinite being is full, perfect, and complete. This relative universe is full, perfect, and complete. From out of the fullness of that infinite being, the fullness of this universe has come. And yet that remains ever the same. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us and to all the beings of the universe.